I think one of the things we're missing today is human connection. I want to discuss how this drama addiction impacts different elements of that. The first one I wanted to tackle was, how does drama addiction look like an impact in intimate relationship?
Oof. I think we all know that one, but I'm happy to share. I think we've all probably been at some point in relation to someone addicted to drama, and it feels exhausting. The fights, the intimacy is replaced with intensity. And red flags become the thing that feels like home within someone addicted to drama. And so there's this way in which there's a fight might bring us closer for those addicted to drama. It doesn't necessarily make sense because it's about making sensation. So if I say to you, like, oh, things are feeling a little status quo in our relationship, so I'm going to spice it up. I'm going to get unintentionally into a fight, or I'm unable, as someone, those of us who have or are addicted to drama, because of that numbness I talked about earlier, there's a huge gap, a distance between being able to be in contact with what they're actually feeling, what their actual needs are. They might have big explosions of emotions, but those are not the underlying core emotions and needs that are actually here. They're a distraction from feeling it. I was working with a client the other day. She was like, I don't know why. I got into a fight all weekend with my partner. I kept picking on him. I kept telling him all the things he did wrong. And I just went at him. And now I'm thinking about my ex partners and my ex boyfriends, and maybe they were a better choice, and just spiraling. You can hear it in my voice. I feel like maybe he's cheating on me, and just really creating stories out of thin air, things that feed into this drama, the momentum of the drama. We worked together for some time. We went through the steps of coming back to, okay, right before that first fight, what were you noticing? What were you feeling? It took some time. Oh, he left on a work trip. I felt really abandoned. Oh, okay. So if we were to stay with that feeling of abandonment, which is a very familiar feeling for this individual, what happens next? And the tendency in that was like, stay for it for just a brief moment and then jump back into, but he keeps going on so many work trips and will never find intimacy if he keeps going on these work trips, and he should quit his job and like crisis hopping. But if he quits his job, then we won't have enough finances. And I'm like, and come back to the core feeling of abandonment. I know that's hard. I know that's hard to sit with. There's a lot of history around abandonment here. And so the longer we could hang out and tolerate the underlying feeling, the narratives, the stories, the need to fight and create chaos dripped away. There was no need for it. Now, this is someone I've worked with for a couple of years. So when we first started, it would take weeks to get towards a core feeling. Now we can do it much more quickly. But you can see how it's not that they want the attention or they want the fighting. It's that it's a way of reflexively avoiding their underlying feelings and needs, which are hard to attend to. Second, if we grew up in a family of chaos or a family of neglect, so there was either too much going on or not enough going on, how did you gain the attention needed to survive, to be seen and heard? And that becomes the currency for love. You use that, whatever strategy you figure out as a kid, that becomes the underlying currency of love for you as an adult. So if getting really big, getting into fights, causing a commotion gets the attention to feel seen and heard, then you're going to use that as often as you need to. So relationships, I think, are such a clear depository for a lot of people's who are addicted to drama, who have had trauma. It's a depository, a place to create that friction, a place in which they're navigating the challenge of intimacy, because like I said before, intimacy creates vulnerability. Vulnerability feels like a threat. So I'm going to avoid deep intimacy, but I'm in a relationship. So there's a bind here. So, what are all the ways in which, when I'm feeling vulnerable, I create distance or I create friction to fill in the gap of that vulnerability, to create a wall of protection? It's a faux wall of protection, but a wall of protection. And if I pull you in, if I pull you into my tornado of chaos, that is the safest way that I can feel related to you and yet not be in that state of vulnerability. This is for the listeners. When someone's pulling you in, trying to bring you down the hill of drama and just roll with you, what they're doing is, at the heart of what they're doing is actually trying to be in connection.